So good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the second day of the New Jersey Big Data Alliance's 8th Annual Symposium, hosted this year by Princeton University. I'm Anne-Marie Maman, Executive Director of the Princeton Entrepreneurship Council, and along with my Princeton co-organizers in corporate engagement and foundation relations and in research computing, and our NJBDA partners from 16 different New Jersey colleges and universities, we're so glad you can be here with us today. The Alliance has a mission to catalyze collaboration among academia, industry, and government in building advanced computing and analytics capabilities in the state of New Jersey. And this symposium is a key part of our annual activities to convene the state's stakeholders and to promote our mission. This year, our symposium is Smart State, Big Data for Community Impact, organized around the question of how states, cities, and communities can best work with academia and industry and using big data to improve equity, sustainability, and prosperity for urban residents. If you were here with us yesterday, you will have heard the practitioners' perspectives, the vision and implementation of how cities are using big data for community impact. If you were not here, I'll give a very quick recap. You'll also be able to see the video in about a week on our website. Professor Goldsmith from Harvard gave an excellent keynote, and he was followed by a panel discussion on the workshops, which really enforced the points he made about needing leadership for data-driven communities. For me, the thing that really stood out yesterday was that if you cannot clearly visualize and communicate your data results, you will not be successful. And you must design not only the data, but also the visuals, including the people that will be using the information. They call this a build with, not build for model. For this morning's session, we have more of an academic focus. We'll discuss the academic view of the symposium's topic, Big Data for Community Impact. I think that we'll hear many of the themes from yesterday repeated again today. So today we'll continue our conference with Dr. Peggy Brennan-Tonetta of Rutgers. If you want to put up the agenda, Neil. Peggy is president and co-founder of the NJBDA, and she'll give a brief update on the organization. Then we'll welcome Dr. Vonu Thakuriah, who is Dean of Rutgers School of Planning and Public Policy, and she will talk about data analytics and urban planning. Today's keynote will be given by Dr. Tara Dawson-McGinnis, a fellow and senior advisor of the New Practice Lab at New America. She will talk about Power to the People, the Promise of Public Interest Technology, which is also the name of her new book, which I personally can highly recommend. For those of you who would like a copy of her book, we've organized for attendees to receive one free of charge. Details on how to get one of these free books will be shared in the chat during her keynote address. And then after the keynote, we'll have a panel discussion with faculty from Rutgers and Princeton on the topic Smart Data to Illuminate Community Grand Challenges. Then we'll close the second day and this year's symposium with two concurrent tracks on academic research. One track will showcase research related to smart cities, and the other will showcase research related to artificial intelligence and machine learning and big data. Similar to yesterday, attendees can join either of the academic tracks. We'll also give more information as we get to that section. One other thing that I don't want to forget is to remind attendees that we have a virtual poster session featuring presentations on student and faculty research in various big data topics. You can access these presentations at any time during the symposium by using the link in the chat or by going to the agenda page on njbda.org and clicking on each poster presentation. I have two last points before we kick it off. First, all sessions are being recorded, and you can find the recordings of both days in about a week on the NJBDA website. And second, we will send a post-event survey to all attendees. It will take less than 2 minutes, I promise. And please take a moment to fill it out. We want your feedback on this year's symposium, as well as your suggestions for future events. Okay, so now to officially open the second day of the symposium, I'd like to welcome back my friend and colleague, Dr. Peggy Brennan-Tonetta, the founder and president of the New Jersey Big Data Alliance. I'd like to publicly thank her for her leadership in the state's strong academic collaboration around big data and for all of her help and support in putting this year's symposium together. Peggy is Executive Director for Economic Development and Innovation at Rutgers, New Jersey Agricultural Experiment Station. She's responsible for the leadership and strategic direction of broad-based university economic development initiatives involving university, government, industry engagement and support, which includes her leadership in the New Jersey Big Data Alliance. Please join me in welcoming Peggy.
Thank you, Anne-Marie, so much. And I just want to say a huge thank you to the Princeton team who spent countless hours over the last few months planning this great symposium. We have phenomenal speakers. It's just so informative. And I know everyone who's participating today will really find it of great benefit and interest as you go through this various sessions and learn more about the research that's currently going on in the area of smart cities. So I'd just like to give a brief overview of the Big Data Alliance for those of you who may not been participating yesterday. When we heard Dr. Goldsmith speaking yesterday, he stressed the importance of fostering cross-sector collaboration and working collaboratively to ask the right questions and address data science needs so that we can apply effective solutions to education, communities, and to advanced technology. And that basically sums up the purpose and goals of the Big Data Alliance. The Alliance is a partnership of 16 New Jersey state higher education institutions and NJEDG. Can you go back a slide, please? Thank you. We were established in 2013 to facilitate collaboration and working collaboratively amongst academia, government, and industry. And our mission is to further build New Jersey's reputation as a leader in innovation, increase its competitive advantage, and catalyze data-driven economic development. Next. Here we go. So our 16 member institutions are as follows. If you are an employee of one of these universities, you are already a member of the New Jersey Big Data Alliance. And if you'd like to get more involved in what we're doing, I will put my email address in the chat room and you can feel free to email me and just express your interest to become more engaged and I'll get back in touch with you. And if you're from a university who is currently not a member of the Big Data Alliance, we would love to have you as a member. And so just email me as well. And I will follow up with you about joining the NJBDA. We also have corporate members. And so if you are a member of a company and would like to join, let me know as well. We so appreciate the participation of our industry members. And it really keeps us on track to make sure that what we meets practical needs and provides practical solutions. And we also have a wide variety of government members as well. Choose New Jersey, Department of Labor, Office of Information Technology, Commission on Science, Innovation, and Technology, the EDA, and we work very closely with all of these affiliate members to achieve the goals of the Big Data Alliance. Next. So to give you an idea of the types of things that we do, I'll just give a brief overview of some of the upcoming activities. We do run an externship program. We started this last fall and we'll go through 3 more years of providing externships to students from all our member institutions. And we focus on companies in New Brunswick, Newark, and Cumberland County, which is part of the grant requirement. And we try to work with companies to bring big data expertise to meet their needs. The program runs in fall and spring semesters, and we currently have a program going on right now for the spring. And we are looking for a company in New Brunswick who might be interested in participating. There's no cost to the company. We pay for all the expenses, and you get a team of students working on your any issues that you may have related to big data. We also offer workshops focused on advanced technologies to improve business performance. And this fall, we'll be hosting a workshop in New Brunswick. There'll be more information about that on our website. We're also working with the New Jersey EDA and New Jersey CCIC, which is our Homeland Security Office in the state, to develop a cybersecurity sandbox. Last December, we had met with the department chairs and curriculum coordinators in computer science and business analytics at our member institutions and as well as industry. And what industry expressed is the need for having students who are better trained on practical real world problems. So we'll be developing the cybersecurity sandbox with the Homeland Security Office, who will host it, where companies can download their data and students can work on real world problems to get more experience. We also are launching a student study abroad program and are partnering with Digital Jersey in the island of Jersey and the Channel Islands. And that program will launch in the fall, with Montclair being the first school to initiate the study abroad program. We're also partnering again this year with UBS for a pitch challenge. This was a great experience for the students last year. They were able to work with senior members of UBS to address a challenge that they were facing and to provide a solution. Students were able to be on teams with students from other schools, which was a great experience for them, and to provide a solution to one of the questions that UPS had put forward. We'll be launching a clean energy student competition with sponsors from IEEE and NJBDA. And recently we've completed an entrepreneurship and innovation survey to look at the state of innovation in the state around advanced technologies and big data in collaboration with Tech United. And that report will be published in the next couple of months. So as you can see, there's a broad diversity of projects that we're working on. And I hope you'll be interested in joining us to work on these projects. Next. So what we're really proud of is that this past year, we launched the Journal of Big Data Theory and Practice. And this is the flagship journal of the NJBDA. And we're soliciting submissions on all aspects of big data, AI, machine learning, theory, application, and practice. So whether you're an academic or you're from industry, if you'd like to submit a journal article, please go to the website, www.jbdtp.org, or our NJBDA website. And there'll be information on that site for how to submit a journal article. It's a rolling deadline, so just go to the site and express your interest, and we'll follow up with you on that. And if you'd like to learn more about the NJBDA, just go to the website, and you can contact us through there, or as I said, through my email address, which I will post in the chat. And we just look forward to today's agenda and the great speakers that we'll have. And I wish you all a great experience today at the 8th Annual NJBDA Symposium. Now, I'm pleased and honored to introduce Dr. Vonu Thakuriah. Not only is she an international expert in big data and urban planning, I'm especially proud because I am an alumna of the Bloustein School of Planning and Public Policy. So very happy to have her here. Dr. Thakuriah is Dean of the Bloustein School of Planning and Public Policy, Distinguished Professor of Transportation and Urban Informatics, and Director of the Rutgers Urban and Civic Informatics Lab at Rutgers University. She also established the first data informatics degree program at Bloustein. Dr. Thakuriah is an internationally recognized expert in smart cities, and her research interests are in the areas of transportation planning and operations, big data and social and economic cyber infrastructure, and smart cities and urban informatics. So I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Thakuriah.
Hey. Good morning. I hope that's, you can see that screen.
Yes.
Thank you very much for inviting me to give the opening remarks for this symposium on day 2. This is an excellent topic and right up my alley. And thank you very much, Peggy, for that kind introduction. I am very pleased that Peggy introduced the school already, but I did have the slide that I present everywhere now as I go because I'm the dean of the school. Our school is very much at the center of leading the way forward on utilizing the power of data and analytics to solve complex urban and societal challenges. And I like to think about our school as a complex combination of fields of study such as urban planning, health administration, public health, public policy, and informatics, as well as things like transportation, workforce development, economic development, and urban design, which I look as business verticals. And then we have these very strong business horizontals that we care about very deeply that are cross-cutting across the school, irrespective of which discipline we focus on, such as social and upstream determinants of health, social justice issues and equity and diversity, sustainability and environmental resilience, and internationalization and global engagement, and of course, informatics, data, and civic technology. The school has a number of highly ranked academic programs. Our undergraduate public health program is ranked very highly, as is our urban planning program and our public policy program. And it might be of interest to this community that we are going to be the lead of a new, just recently announced earlier this week, actually, a new New Jersey policy lab that's going to be funded by the New Jersey government. We are very excited about that. And also, as Peggy mentioned, we have the Rutgers Urban and Civic Informatics Lab, where we're looking at exciting new ways of applying or utilizing data science and analytics on complex societal challenges, particularly in the COVID-related challenges. So as this community knows very well, there's been an explosion of ICT solutions and data related to myriad sensor systems, administrative data, user-generated content, synthetic data sources of various kinds. The private sector in particular has wide variety of data that has been leveraged to study all kinds of very complicated problems in health, in food, in environmental systems, in transportation. My field in transportation and mobility, mobility as a service, is a huge area with connected infrastructure, and micro mobility is another interesting area, and e-commerce. These are all very core areas that are leading to new forms of data that are stimulating very good ways or good opportunities for government agencies, as well as for other kinds of new ways of for private companies to look for business generation, as well as for government agencies to have imaginative ways of providing services to their communities and citizens. But it's not all that simple, because there are the data silos, and there's the customers and the consumers and the citizens, and getting the data to be curated and to speak to the needs of the communities and the customers and the consumers is not always very seamless, especially when you have many complexities such as privacy, cybersecurity, changing needs, changing data infrastructure issues, and all of these things that needs to be taken care of. And hence this emerging discipline of urban informatics, which really is a data intensive way of looking at analyzing, visualizing, simulating, and interpreting all forms of data, unstructured, structured data on cities, regions, and economic and social systems to address grand challenges in society. And this is a book that came out a few years ago, a result of an NSF workshop that I had chaired. It actually is downloadable from the internet. If you know, for the university people, I'd be glad to send it to you. And I think it's a collection of several papers that researchers and also people from private industry put together to look at ways in which you could have dynamic resource management in urban areas to manage assets in transportation systems or environmental systems or parks and water management and so on. Understanding how you can derive knowledge and make inferences about complex systems such as healthcare. How do you engage with people or do civic participation? And how do you do policy analysis using these emerging forms of data? Which leads us to understand, getting a feel for how do you use all this data? What are some of the application areas? Well, there are many, many, and in fact, they're getting to be only much more. So this is actually a slightly older slide, and I can tell you that what the data are being used for today is a little bit more, much more than what it was used for 2-3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, we were talking about urban infrastructure development, urban operations management, like traffic management and so on, energy optimization, crime detection and prevention, energy, civic engagement and civic participation, urban design, how do you design sites and so on, urban planning, of course, brownfield planning, regeneration, and mega infrastructure planning, urban knowledge discovery, how do you understand emerging issues, and public mood and critical concerns, and urban policy analysis and evaluation. So how do you analyze the proposed high-speed rail construction, for example? But I think under the COVID era, I mean, I think there's been a step change. COVID has really brought about a new era of evidence-based decision-making. And I think the world of data, COVID is really the first data-driven pandemic, if you will. And I think what the demands on data-driven science and data-driven informed decision-making is really at a heightened scale right now. And I think to this list, I would add informed decision-making regarding health disparities, regarding how do you link really understanding how health disparities is a core contributor to understanding how we will pull out of or get to economic recovery and all these very complex issues that we haven't even really started understanding to a great extent. So some of the grand challenges for community impact: how do you operate cities effectively and efficiently, build robust and resilient infrastructure, and all these issues like developing shock-proof cities, ensure economic growth and revenue, bring about business economic competitiveness, lifelong learning, civic engagement, address challenges relating to social exclusion. How do you build cities to recover from man-made, natural or health-related disasters? And it really takes a village to do this. It's not just universities, not just government agencies. 10 years ago, the users of urban data were planning organizations, operational agencies like, traffic management agencies, or, environmental agencies. But now you look at the spectrum of organizations and businesses that are working with cities' data, and it's staggering. I mean, this is, again, a list from 2016. If I read the study, I would imagine the list to be about 5 times longer than this. Everybody is using cities' data. So again, there's a whole lot of data, but how do you go from data to impact? That is the million-dollar question. I think there's a lot of analytics, but going from analytics and data analytics, from urban data infrastructure to analytics to impact, take governance, advocacy, activism, and leadership and civic engagement. And I think that is the big challenge. So with that, I'll hand off back to Peggy. Thank you.
Thank you, Thakuriah. That was really great. A great summary of a very complex issue. And I think you did a great job at that. So it's really demonstrated the importance of and the pervasiveness of big data and how it can be applied. So I'll hand this now over to Anne-Marie.